What's going on, boys? Back with another YouTube video. I know I haven't posted in a minute. It's been like a month or two or something like that. I don't even know. I haven't posted in a while. Anyways, I got to get more consistent with posting. In today's video, I just want to go over the top 10 most frequent questions I get asked by beginner wholesalers. I get asked these questions literally all the time, whether it be in my DMs or just in my comments. So I figured I might as well just make a video just clearing these things up and answering all these questions for you guys and for you beginner wholesalers who are wondering the answer to these questions. A little background on me if you guys don't know who I am. My name is Zach. I've been wholesaling real estate for about 2 years now. I started when I was 17. I'm currently 19 years old. I closed my first ever wholesale real estate deal when I was 18 years old for a total profit of $18,000. Right now, I'm consistently doing like 3 to 5 deals every single month. So I'm pretty experienced in the entire industry of wholesaling real estate. All right, so the first question I was asked is, what is wholesaling real estate? All wholesaling real estate is simply just finding motivated sellers, so people who are looking to sell their properties quickly for cash. They don't have time to go on market with a realtor and list their property and wait 90 to 120 days for it to be sold. And then they need to pay realtor commissions on top of that, closing costs and title fees and all that. So that's why they choose you, a wholesaler or an investor, because you offer that incentive of being able to close quickly and fast for cash with no realtor commissions, no closing costs, and no title fees that they need to worry about. Simply just finding these sellers, getting their properties under contract, and then selling the rights of that contract to an investor or end buyer who's actively flipping properties in whatever area it is that you have that property under contract in. Essentially just connecting a seller to an end buyer and making the in-between difference, which is known as an assignment fee, and that's what you make as a wholesaler. So you got to understand that these real estate investors don't have the time to go out and look for these deals 24/7 and run all sorts of marketing and get on phone calls with these sellers and screen through thousands of leads before they actually find that one good property that turns out to be a deal. Offering the solution of a quick closing with cash to the seller, and then you're also finding deals for the end buyer who's looking to do their next fix and flip or just buy another rental. Say for example, you get a property under contract with the seller at $50,000. You then go out and find an investor or end buyer who's willing to buy it at, let's just say, $60,000. You make that in-between difference of that $60,000 minus that $50,000. You make a $10,000 assignment fee simply for just connecting the seller to the end buyer. All right, second question I get asked all the time is, do I need a license to start wholesaling real estate? No, you do not need a license to start wholesaling real estate. This is completely off market. We're not acting as agents or listing the property on the MLS or anything like that. So you don't need a real estate license to start wholesaling real estate. That doesn't mean that if you are a real estate agent, you can't get into wholesaling real estate. There's thousands of real estate agents who also wholesale real estate. You just have to disclose that you're a real estate agent to the seller. All right, the third question I get asked all the time, this is probably my most frequent question, is, can you start wholesaling real estate for free? I hate to break it to you, but no, you cannot start wholesaling real estate for free. And anybody who tries to tell you that you can is lying to you. Probably just trying to sell you on their bullshit AI website or software and saying that you can close your first deal with just $50 to $100. Guys, that's complete bullshit. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. I recommend having like $1,000 to $3,000 saved up to start wholesaling real estate. You can literally just go get a minimum wage job and save up capital by doing that. That's exactly what I did. All right, the fourth question that I also get asked all the time is, do I need to be 18 to start wholesaling real estate? No, you do not need to be 18 to start wholesaling real estate. That's a complete myth. I personally started when I was 17, so I would just have like my parents or just somebody who I trusted, an older guardian who was above the age of 18, to sign off on legally binding contracts for me. Explain to them what I was doing, and I explained that there's no liability or risk on their end. They were fully comfortable with signing off for me on my behalf. Stop thinking that you can't start wholesaling real estate because you're not 18 yet. That's such an excuse, and you can easily start when you're 18. I even sign off in the name of my LLC for some of my students who are under the age of 18 if I see that they have a good deal that they can get under contract. The fifth question that I also get asked a lot is, how long does it take to close your first deal? So many people get fed this false narrative that they can close their first deal within like 2 weeks to a month, and then when they don't, they get all upset and end up quitting and saying wholesaling real estate is the worst business model out there. Guys, it takes time, and it's going to take time with literally any other business model that you try. I tell all my students that it takes at least 3 months to close your first deal running some sort of marketing strategy, because in wholesaling you can't close deals by just cold calling or thinking that you're going to get a deal off calling for sale by owners on Zillow. You need to have some sort of marketing strategy in place so you're actually getting in leads every single day that you're calling. Then from there, after you've been running your marketing strategy for a while, you finally have some follow-ups in your pipeline, you can then expect to close your first deal within that 3-month time frame. All right, the sixth question that I also get asked all the time is, how do I find motivated sellers? Everybody thinks that there's some sort of special list or special filter that you need to use in order to find the most motivated sellers, but that just isn't true at all, and it simply just comes down to the amount of volume that you're doing. The reality is that there isn't any secret sauce or secret list or secret filter that you can use on PropWire or PropStream to find the most motivated sellers. It simply just comes down to doing the most amount of volume that you can in order to find that one seller who is very motivated and needs to sell their property quickly for cash. Also, the way you find these motivated sellers is by running some sort of marketing strategy, whether that be SMS, hiring cold callers or VA, doing an inbound marketing strategy like PPC, so running like Google ads or Facebook ads. Those will all give you the highest chance of finding the most motivated sellers. So there's no secret filter that you can use on any of those websites to find the most motivated sellers. Question number 7 is, how do I find buyers for my deals? Again, there's also no secret method to find buyers to buy your wholesale deals. Guys, as long as you have a good property under contract and the numbers make sense and it's in a good market, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find a buyer for that deal. Actually, scratch that. 10 times out of 10, you're gonna find a buyer for that deal. Literally millions of real estate investors constantly looking for their next flip. So if you can just bring them a good deal, they're going to buy that deal off you without thinking twice. You can actually go about finding buyers is going in the Facebook groups or going to real estate events and meetups in your area if you're wholesaling in your area, and finding buyers that way and connecting with buyers that way. You can even JV with other wholesalers like myself, have access to buyers in all 50 states and can get a good deal sold literally at any time. Question number 8 is, what contracts do I need to start wholesaling real estate? There's only 2 types of contracts that you're gonna need when you want to start wholesaling real estate. The first one is your purchase and sale agreement right here, and then the second one is your assignment of contract agreement right here. Purchase and sale agreement is the contract that you're going to use between you and the seller. Basically, it's a contract written so a literal third grader could understand to read it, saying that you as a wholesaler have equitable interest in purchasing that property. An assignment clause in there that allows you to assign that contract over to the end buyer who is then actually going to close on the property. That's exactly where the assignment of contract comes into place, which is between you and the buyer. It's the contract that you use for once you actually find a buyer for your deal to assign the deal over to them so then they can close on the property and you get your assignment fee as a wholesaler. Question number 9 is, what is an inspection period and what is the EMD? Basically the time where you're gonna go out as a wholesaler and actually find buyers who are interested in buying your deal. Inspection period is typically set anywhere between 7 to 14 days is personally what I like to do for any of my wholesale deals. This is where you're gonna send out buyers to the property to do walkthroughs to make sure it's what the seller told you it was. Within that 14-day inspection period, you're then gonna assign the deal over to the end buyer. You're allowed to back out in the inspection period if the property isn't what the seller described to you it was, without any liability or risk on your end. The EMD, which is the earnest money deposit, or basically the deposit that shows that you have intent of purchasing the property, that only goes hard after the inspection period, so you don't even need to worry about dropping EMD until after the inspection period, and just gonna be covered by the end buyer anyway after you assign the deal over to them. I never ever go over like $1,000 for my EMD. Not even that, usually not even over like $500. I keep it very low in case that, God forbid, you do go over your inspection period and you need to drop EMD. 10th and final question is, can I wholesale real estate virtually and from anywhere? This is literally the best part about wholesaling real estate and why it's the best online business model to get into, is because you can do it from literally anywhere at any time. I'm in Dallas, Texas right now, and I'm literally wholesaling real estate in Ohio and Indiana right now. Like 10 plus hours away, yet I'm still able to wholesale properties in those states. You never need to meet these sellers in person, and you never even need to see these properties in person, because it's all being handled by the end buyers who actually live in those areas and are the ones closing on the properties. For example, if you live in California, you can choose to wholesale real estate in New Jersey. So you can literally go across the entire US if you please to do so. That's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that clears some things up for any beginner wholesalers out there, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.